Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm actually going to be doing a little story time for you guys on how I got to this point in my journey with makeup. So if you would, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and give this video a big thumbs up. Leave an emoji in the comments if you really enjoyed this video. I will be doing a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers for a $50 Ulta gift card. So if you would like to hear my journey, just keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to start out with my love for makeup. I have not always loved makeup. I've enjoyed wearing it. I've enjoyed being more confident in my skin by enhancing those features on my face, but I've never actually known how to use it until about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm still learning. What started my journey was I worked, and I've always been a very independent person. I've been very independent. I wanted to handle everything myself. I want to financially support myself always. Like, I've just been that way. I've always been headstrong, independent type girl, which is probably where my little Lakin gets it from. I got pregnant in 2013 with Charlie Kate. She is now 5.5. But I got pregnant with her, and I continued working. I worked at a doctor's office, and I continued working through that. But then in 2015, I found out I was pregnant with Lakin, and I was still working in a doctor's office. And my husband and I had already talked about me being a stay-at-home mom, but it was very hard for me to actually let go of the fact that I would be bringing home any money at all to contribute to the family, or have my own money for that matter. So it was very hard for me to adjust to that thought, so I never did actually quit work. About 5 or 6 months into me being pregnant with Lakin, my husband told me it's just not worth it for me to work with the income that I had, and that I just needed to go ahead and quit, because regardless, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to help the income. So I quit my job. It literally was the hardest adjustment for me probably ever. Just for the fact of my entire life, I've been that way. Even as a small child, I didn't want anyone sleeping with me. I didn't want to cuddle. I wanted to be by myself. Like, I've just been that way always. So with that being said, that came hard times in our marriage as well, because I still wanted to be able to have some type of say-so, some type of control, some type of something in finances, because I felt so detached, and I've never been that way. So it was a major big adjustment for me, and it only took about 2 or 3 weeks before I realized I've got to have some sort of income coming in. I can't just not bring anything to the table. If I'm not bringing anything, I'm at least going to be working towards something to be able to bring. So my friend had actually come to me at perfect timing and told me that she was on this journey with makeup. And again, I was not into makeup at this point. I enjoyed makeup. I liked it, but I didn't explore makeup. I wore it. I didn't play with it. I didn't branch out. I just had my routine, and I stuck to that routine. But she came to me and she was like, you know, you're good at makeup. And I don't know, I wasn't good at makeup, but she said I was. And she said, I think you'd be really good at joining me on the Younique journey. So I'd never actually heard of Younique. Oh, I'd heard of Younique, but I didn't really know anything about it. I didn't even know their products, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, it's really good makeup. They have like a good, they have a good brand. They stand on they have a good foundation. And so just her saying extra income, and like told me all the things that could come with it, she intrigued me. She pulled me in, and I joined. Not because I thought it was going to be overnight success, because I don't believe that with anything. I totally believe that even no matter what you do, even if it's something that you're really good at, even if it's running a company, I definitely believe that it's something that you have to work towards no matter what. So I knew that I was going to have to work, and I was totally okay with that, because I would much rather work towards something and then get the reward from it, knowing that I worked for it, rather than it just being handed to me, because I know that I earned it, as opposed to it just being handed over. It's just, it means a lot more when you work for it. So I was prepared to work, and I did. I worked really hard for a couple of years, actually, and I got all the way up into like 3rd from the top of our company, and I was an elite status presenter, and there were a few months where I actually made pretty decent money. I mean, I actually made more in my paycheck than I made in a month at the doctor's office. So I made more in that month doing makeup and stuff than I made at the doctor's office I was working at before I actually quit. I did trainings. I reached out to people. I stepped out of my comfort zone. I took notes. I took time. I invested a whole lot of time and effort doing things. Some things that I liked, but some things that I really just didn't like at all. But I knew it was just part of the work. Everybody was like, you just have to do these things every day. It's just part of it, and that's how you get to the top. So in a sense, they were right, because I did climb, listening to them and taking some of their advice and then creating some of my own. I did actually get to the elite status presenter, and there was actually a month where had somebody underneath me promoted, I would actually moved up to orange status, and then there's purple, then black, and that's black is the top of the company. With that being said, I enjoyed it. I really did, but then I plateaued. And I know that probably most of you are thinking, okay, well, when people plateau, that's when everyone gives up. But I didn't. I remained a elite status presenter for over a year and a half. And I didn't give up. I feel like that you can get to the top in that company. Personally, I feel like that it is a situation where if you started with them in the beginning, you have a lot higher chance of being at the top of the company, but I don't think it's impossible to be at the top of the company even if you entered there now. So I don't think negatively of the company at all. I actually really enjoy the company and what they stand for. They have a wonderful foundation where they help sexually abused women go recover and heal, and it's just a wonderful foundation. It's called the Younique Foundation. I highly encourage you to look into it. It's a beautiful thing. And so I only went to convention 1 year during my journey, and that year I met so many amazing people, and I loved it. I loved seeing the background of like starting from the floor up, and being with people that had the same passion as me for that sense. Because when I grab something and go full force. Like, that is my passion. I chase it. So that was me with Younique. Like, everyone knew me for that. So with that being said, at convention, the first time that I had any doubt in my journey was when I ran into a couple of the black status presenters. And there was a couple of them that I ran into that were very, like, on the internet, they seemed so friendly. Like, you see them on the internet because they're in the trainings and they're all that, but they were not that at all. I don't know if they were just having a bad day, so that's what I'm hoping was the case. But I could tell that their fame or popularity had gone to their head in some sense, and they didn't have time for the people underneath them who actually pushed them to the top. Because if you're familiar with network marketing or the Younique process at all, then you know that in order to build a business, you have to have people underneath you making money with you for you. And so it put a gut feeling inside of me that I was like, I don't ever want to be that. I don't ever want to be at a place in this company where I feel like I'm any better than anyone. Also realizing that, you know, especially in those circumstances, that the people underneath you are the people that made you black status. Like, yeah, you work towards it, but if you didn't have people sign up underneath you, if you didn't have people promote and working just as hard as you and selling the product, then you wouldn't be black status. That's just how it works. Like I said before, you know, I would have reached a whole nother status had the people underneath me promoted, but I didn't. I done my part, but the people underneath me didn't. So you can't get to the top of the company without the people underneath you. So it's definitely a team effort. So to see someone look down on or think negatively of the people underneath them, it just rubbed me the wrong way. One of them was a personal encounter, and one of them was an encounter I saw from afar from someone else. And I, not saying anything, I'm not going to say names, and I'm not going to talk bad about people at all, because I don't feel that way for the company as a whole. But that mindset, and I know that we always say that would never be me, I would never do that, but it happens to people, and I don't ever want to be that. And so when I saw that that could get to your head that way, I was just like, But I didn't give up there. I didn't stop. After the convention, I actually felt like I had a fire lit underneath me because I knew more about the company than I ever had before. And I was so excited. So I get home and I'm like pushing and reaching out to people and talking, and half the stuff that I did felt icky. I felt gross reaching out to people. I felt gross when I reached out to people and they ignored me. I felt gross, and I did it by the book. How they said to do it, I did it, and it felt gross. And then the moment came where I had someone reach out to me, and they said they actually saw on my page where I had done makeup. I don't even remember what it was, but they said, you could really make a lot of money with your makeup. And I was like, I'm gonna see where this goes. And I was like, what do you mean? I did not even know this girl. And they're like, so Younique, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, just for future training purposes, make sure you research someone before you actually cold message them like that, because I'm actually an elite presenter. And they're like, oh my God, so sorry. How did you get to that point, right? So it made me sick again. That was my red flag number 2. I was like, if it makes me feel like this when someone reaches out to me, I can't imagine what it's making other people feel. And I don't, please hear my heart, I don't think negatively of any presenters, because I know how hard it is to work towards those goals, and I know how passionate you are, and I totally believe you can get there. And if you're working towards it, you keep on working, girl. I'm just telling you where I was and the things that I felt during the process. And so that was another thing for me. And then my husband, for Christmas, one year he came up to me with an Ulta magazine. And he handed it to me and he said, if you could pick anything out of this magazine, what would you pick? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And kind of gave him the shoulder in a sense, because I felt bad. I felt wrong. I felt guilty for even looking at that Ulta magazine. Like, I'm not even lying when I say it was terrible. I was like, I'm not supposed to do this. I feel like I'm cheating on Younique by looking at this, just looking at the Ulta magazine. And then I was like, I should not feel this way. I should not feel this way. And I'm not, again, by no means blaming Younique for this. I'm just telling you my feelings in the journey, and I really think that it was all just a sign pointing me out to chase my dreams. But then I was like, you know what? My husband asked me to look at it. I'm gonna do it. Like, nobody has me tied down with Younique. Like, this is just a journey. So I circled all the things that I would love in that magazine. So to me, Ulta was like this magical place at that time. And it still is, let's just get real. But I circled them. And for Christmas, he told me he had gotten me some boots. And he actually brought me a shoebox. And I opened it. And it was a shoebox full of all the products that I had circled in that Ulta magazine. I know, my husband's awesome. But I could not wait to play, but I didn't want to tell anyone because I felt like I was cheating on Younique. But that's literally just how passionate I was about something. When I get really passionate about something, I go wholeheartedly, and that's why, again, like, I've never been really into the dating scene before I got married. I've definitely been like a one-man woman. Like, if I liked somebody, I focused on them, didn't talk to anybody else, didn't date anybody else, even if we weren't official. So that's kind of how I felt. I was really passionate. But I was so excited, and I played into it, and then that was when I had my final feeling. I was like, I love this. I love exploring. I love playing in the paint, and I've always been really artistic. Like, I love painting and drawing. Like, I've always been like the way, and crafting and those type of things all my life. So it would be like somebody handing me a palette and saying, just a palette of paint of a certain brand, and saying, play with this. This is what you get to paint your canvases with. And me painting my canvases with these paints for years, those same paints, same colors for years, and then me watching other people around me painting with all these different vibrant colors and not being able to touch it. That's what it felt like to me at that point. So I was like, you know what? Because if you don't know, with Younique, you cannot promote or talk about other brands. That's just part of their rules. And so because I love Younique and because I love the people in it, and I did not publicly step away. I just stepped away. And then I was like, you know what? I'm chasing my dreams. So I started doing Facebook Lives, and I actually started on my personal page, and I built a following of like almost 7,000 people, and just did makeup. I did reviews. I just did everything I wanted to do, and people watched and they enjoyed it. And some people were like, oh man, you're not with Younique anymore, are you? Because they knew that I can't talk about other products. And then other people were like, oh, I'm so glad you're branching out. You're going to love this. And I did. I loved it. I wanted to be live all the time, even though there was no monetary value in it. It just filled my heart. And then I decided to do a business page on Facebook and do my lives from there, because I was able to promote them and boost them and get them out there. And then my husband started talking to me last year, and he was like, I think you should do YouTube. I think this is it. I think you should do YouTube. And I was like, well, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could because of, I knew what YouTube world had to offer. Not success wise, but because I loved YouTube, and that's how I learned how to do all the makeup that I got passionate about. And then I knew the drama that came with it, so I was just like trying to steer clear of it. And also I thought, I don't want to see what people have to say about me, because I know I'm not great at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew I was working towards it. I knew it was a dream, and I knew I loved it, but I knew I wasn't great about it, and I'm great at it, and I knew what people had to say. I know people leave mean things, and I know that was to come. And not that I couldn't handle it, but because I didn't want to handle it. So, with that being said, I turned it down. I told him no, I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to stay on Facebook. I wanted to be interactive with people because I love that. I still love that. I still go live on Facebook. I still love responding to comments and interacting, and I never want to lose sight of that. And even if this channel grows and it gets big, I never want to lose sight of where I came from. And so that's why I constantly try my best to respond and comment and interact with you guys, because I really appreciate that. So I mentioned to my husband at the end of last year, I was like, you know, I think I want to do YouTube. I said, I think that's what I do. I said, I think I'm going to try YouTube, because I want to make a career out of this. Like, if I'm going to spend so much time doing it, I would love to make a career, and I don't see how I could make a career on Facebook. So I think I'm going to try and do YouTube. So for Christmas, he actually bought me a Canon T6i to start recording, and that's what I'm actually recording on right now. And I loved it. It was beautiful. I did some videos. I never posted them. I didn't start up my YouTube channel. But I took pictures. I was figuring it out, and I loved the camera. And then the camera sat until about a week ago. And about 2 weeks ago, I actually, at the beginning of the year, for New Year, I had like literally prayed. I was like, come on, God, like, whatever decisions I need to make this year, let me make them. Whatever my next step is in this passion of mine, let me make it. Let me be open-minded, let things fall into place, let me make better choices, let me be a better person. And I know that's such a cliche New Year's resolution, but that was literally mine, and it was my prayer. So a couple of weeks ago, out of nowhere, I got this fire for YouTube. I was like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with my whole heart. And I just wanted to do it. I was itching to do it. I wanted to get started so bad. So I kept finding things like reasons I couldn't start. Like, the lighting wasn't perfect. I didn't have a setup. I didn't have the equipment. I didn't have all these things. I kept finding reasons. I didn't have the program. I didn't know how to put it on the computer. I didn't know where to start, right? And finally, I was watching training video after training video, and I was trying to get everything perfected before I actually started. I watched this one training video, and I wish I could remember the person's name, but it was like the steps in being successful in YouTube. And he said, the first step to starting YouTube is starting. And it's so simple, but like my mind was blown. And then he went on to explain how people try their best to perfect their videos and perfect the setup and all that stuff, and they never actually get started. And he was like, wherever you're at, if you're planning on doing YouTube, start now with what you've got. Just set it up, just go, start filming, start editing. You don't know how to use the program, fine. Just figure it out. Post something, and then as you go, you'll learn and you'll just improve your videos, but you have to start. So that's exactly what I did. And I filmed and I edited and uploading my first video, which was just like last week or so. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 days ago actually. I uploaded my first video and I was like, you know what, I'm committing. I'm going to do 3 days a week, and that's what I've committed to. I'm going to upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm doing beauty videos, and then I'm also doing family vlogs. And the reason I'm also including family vlogs, and like most channels, it's beauty and then they do vlogs on a separate channel, but I'm putting mine together. And the reason I'm doing that is, number one, so that people don't have to subscribe to separate channels, but number two, because when I was doing Facebook Live, something I was so passionate about is that my kids love being included, and my kids are my life. And so I didn't want to change paths and then not include them anymore. So my children love vlogging. They think it's fun. And I'll include a link to a video up here. I did a kids Q&A with them. I have 2 little girls, a 5-year-old named Charlie and a 3-year-old named Lakin. And then I have a little boy. He's 3 months old. His name is Tucker. But I did a vlog with the girls, and we did a Q&A, and it was super cute, so go check that out. But yeah, that is my journey, and that's where I'm headed, and that's where I stand. That's how I got here, and I'm super excited to see what life brings. I don't have any harsh feelings towards Younique because people were really nice, and Younique is what got me here. But it was also a business full of a bunch of women, so it got nasty sometimes. And also, anytime that I tried to branch out or do something new, I got a lot of leaders come at me and tell me that I can't do that, you're not allowed to do that. And I really felt like I had a ceiling. I feel like they put a ceiling on me because they wanted me to be successful in that one area, which I get it in a business sense for them, but that was not me. I didn't want that ceiling. I wanted to be able to go as far as possible. So this is me chasing my dreams, going as far as possible. So if you want to join me on my journey, please subscribe to my channel, ring that notification bell, and again, give this video a big thumbs up, and leave any ideas in the comments of what you'd like to see next. So thank you guys again for watching. If you'd like to get to know my family, again, the girls have the Q&A that I linked before, and then my husband and I have a Q&A that I will link here, and you can get to know I actually don't know which side it links, this side or this side, but it'll pop up of me and my husband's Q&A, so you can get to know my family and the journey we're about to embark on. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much. I really, really appreciate your support, even at this point, at the small point that I am. I appreciate every little bit of it. So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.